So, I watched Schaeferless Productions' Top 30 Villain Songs list, and I got a little inspired to make my own. I don't have quite as many to rank, but hopefully 20 plus some honorable mentions should give you guys a good list. The only rule is that only 2 songs are allowed per franchise at maximum. So, without further ado, let's start with number 20. At number 20, we have Ready As I'll Ever Be from the Tangled series. This is a great song and goes to show that Disney can still capture that classic villain song sound when they try. Jeremy Jordan does an amazing job with the vocals and it has a really cool, sinister vibe. However, it's only number 20 for 2 main reasons. For one, I don't watch this show, so I have no clue the context to this, and for 2, I find the song parts for the other characters kind of annoying and intrusive. I'm also just not a fan of the animation style. At the end of the day, however, it's still a really good song and I highly recommend listening to it at least once because it's very good. At number 19, we have the Mob song from Beauty and the Beast. Personally, I actually like this song more than the titular Gaston song. To me, this feels more like an actual villain song, as it's a song sung by the villain as he's being evil, in contrast to a song that's just people blindly praising a villain. I also just love the sinister sound of this one more. It has its low points, of course, but overall a very good lead-in to the big final battle of the movie, and a very good villain song. At number 18, we have Prince Ali Reprise from Aladdin. It's a bit short and a bit too much talk singing for my liking, but it does a very good job reincorporating a more heroic, happy sound of Prince Ali and twisting it into a darker song, showing just how far gone Jafar really is. Honestly, if it was a little longer and had more actual singing, it would probably be much higher on this list. It just does a phenomenal job showing a transition of Jafar from a more subdued, sly villain to an unhinged psychopath, and that alone earns it a spot on the list. Coming in at number 17 is Heffalumps and Woozles from the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Whilst, albeit a bit silly, it has some really cool imagery, as well as a very memorable melody. It also does a great job fitting the overall tone of the movie, while still having moments that may be creepy to younger children. Overall, it's a very lighthearted, yet unnerving villain song. Ranking at 16, we have Toxic Love from Ferngully. While the movie itself is not very good, this one scene is very cool, and the song itself still creeps its way into my head sometimes, even when I haven't listened to it in years. The animation is really cool, and Tim Curry does a great job. It is a little suggestive at points, which is odd, but it works for the tone of the song. At least one good thing came from this otherwise forgettable movie. Come Wayward Souls from Over the Garden Wall is short yet haunting, and the lyrics are genuinely horrifying. It does a great job capturing a very eerie tone that the show carries throughout, and shows just how horrifying the beast truly is. It's also a really beautiful song that I recommend listening to if you haven't. This show, the soundtrack, and especially the character of the beast are truly an amazing part of Cartoon Network's history, and the show specifically is both a haunting yet ethereal villain song. At number 14, we have Come Little Children from Hocus Pocus, though I much prefer Erutan's version. Similarly to Come Wayward Souls, it's very ethereal and haunting. Whilst I don't particularly love the movie, this one scene always did a great job of creeping me out, and this song is the main reason why. It also sounds like a loving lullaby, which makes it all the more creepier considering it's a villain song. Amazing stuff all around. Some of you are about to be very annoyed by how this is not even in the top 10, but number 13 is Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's an amazing villain song and has a lot of emotional impact. I understand why people love it. I personally haven't watched the movie, which probably doesn't help, but even on its own terms, I'm just not the hugest fan of it. It's objectively amazing, and I do like it. The delivery of the line, "Be mine or you is truly spectacular, and I don't really have any complaints with it, just not really my personal cup of tea. At number 12, we have Poor Unfortunate Souls from The Little Mermaid. Personally, I'm just not the biggest fan of this movie, but the song is amazing. I love how it starts out pretty laid back and progressively gets more unhinged as it goes along. The imagery is also really cool. It's rightfully earned a place in society as a classic villain song, and whilst I don't really like the movie, Ursula and this song makes it worth rewatching occasionally. At number 11, we have Lululand from Hell of a Boss. While not the best song from a franchise, as Stolas' song is phenomenal, this is a fairly close second, and it does a very good job capturing the chaotic nature of Robo-Fizzaroli. The animation is also amazing, especially considering that this is a web series. The Beetlejuice voice fits the song and character very well, and the callback to Charlie's song is a neat touch. I do wish it was a bit longer, but overall a great villain song. Breaking in the top 10, we have Shiny for Moana. Whilst Tamatoa doesn't have a lot of plot significance, this song is really fun, and the chaotic design of his character really adds a lot of personality to it. The darker part of the song also does a really great job foreshadowing Maui's backstory. Overall, it's just a really fun villain song, which is refreshing considering how few of them there has been in recent years for Disney. Mother Knows Best Reprised does a great job of taking the incredibly manipulative yet seemingly kind of loving song from earlier in the movie and making it blatantly clear what Mother Goggles' true motives are, which is a mark of a great villain reprise. It also takes the fun, upbeat tone of the first song and makes it darker and more sinister. Overall, a really spectacular villain song, even if I personally don't care for the movie all that much. At number 8, we have The World's Greatest Criminal Mind from The Great Mouse Detective. The movie overall is pretty underrated, which is a shame because it's really good. And Radigan is an amazing villain with a really fun villain song. In my opinion, this is what Gaston's song was trying to be. It's a group of drunk people praising a villain, but here they are kind of scared of him, reminding everyone that as charismatic as he is, he's still very threatening when he wants to be. Also, shout out to this man for naming himself Radigan and then getting mad when people call him a rat.
Radigan's the world's greatest rat.
Coming in at number 7, we have The Pitiful Children from Be More Chill. It's a really fun song, but when you stop to think of the fact that it's a bunch of high school children being brainwashed and basically mind-controlled by computer chips, it's actually pretty creepy. It has an amazing catchy melody and does a great job reincorporating a recurring melody that follows the squib throughout the musical. The vocal work is amazing, and just overall it's a great villain song that manages to be fun and catchy, but also really terrifying when you stop to think of what's happening. Jeremy Jordan finds his way onto this list once again at number 6 with Hurricane from the Death Note musical. This song is different from most villain songs in a way that it's a villain song sung by the protagonist. Light Yagami's story is a good look at how the seemingly perfect person can still be the bad guy, and Hurricane does a great job of capturing Light's god complex. Light realizes that he has the means to kill anyone, pretty much, without a trace, and you can hear him become more and more sure of his plans throughout the song. He's a little bit hesitant at the start, but by the end he is fully convinced that he is a god who will rid the world of bad. At number 5, we have Friends on the Other Side from The Princess and the Frog. While I don't really care about this movie, this song breaks in at number 5 purely because of its amazing imagery and sly melody. Dr. Facilier does a great job of drawing the characters and the audience in with his powers and promises, but then pulling the rug out from beneath everyone with a sudden shift into chaos. A spectacular villain song, and Thomas Sanders' mashup cover of it is also really cool. And at number 4, we have Other Friends from the Steven Universe movie. This song is just amazing. Steven Universe's soundtrack still has some of the best songs I've ever experienced. Other Friends does an amazing job introducing Spinella as well as capturing that old-timey feel. The lyrics also are really cool to reflect on once you know her backstory. The animation is truly spectacular, and it's just overall a truly amazing villain song, even if they completely ruin Spinella in future. At number 3, we have Be Prepared from The Lion King. Truly a classic villain song, and for good reason. The animation is really cool and the lyrics do a great job showing just how power-hungry Scar is. The melodies and instrumentals and everything are amazing as well. It also subtly shows even more how heartless he is. Because not only is he singing about killing his brother and nephew, but he also spends the whole time abusing the hyenas. Overall, it just does an amazing job at capturing everything that a classic Disney villain song should be. In second place, we have What's Ga Use of Feeling Blue from Steven Universe. It does a wonderful job showing the conflicted emotions of Yellow Diamond. She thinks that Blue is irrational for hanging on to the memory of Pink and thinks they should just spend their energy fighting and being evil, but she herself has some repressed feelings of grief. Truly amazing, both as a villain song and an emotional song. Now, before I reveal the prestigious number 1 song, here are some honorable mentions that I didn't include because I wasn't sure if they counted or not, and or they sorta broke my rules. The Room Where It Happens from Hamilton. I believe this is the true turning point for Burr in the musical, from sort of an annoyed acquaintance of Alex to an outright enemy. It's right after this that he goes against Philip Schuyler, and nearly every interaction between the two from then on is worse than the last, until the eventual duel. The choreography is amazing, and Leslie Odom Jr. truly does a phenomenal job with the song. However, it's only an honorable mention because I'm not sure if Burr counts as the villain or not. The next one is Play It in My Head from Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. It's a bit short, but very impactful in the context of the episodes, and it's one of my favorite songs from the already amazing Kipo soundtrack. Alas, it's only an honorable mention because, well, it's in an episode that's before his redemption. The song itself is in a flashback scene from before he became a villain, so I'm not sure if it counts. Next up is the Squip song from Be More Chill. It does a great job of introducing the Squip, which becomes the antagonist, and has a big range of upbeat to cool to funny to unnerving tones without giving tonal whiplash. The melody is really catchy, and overall I just really love this song. Unfortunately, though the song is amazing, I don't think it fully counts as a villain song due to the Squip not actually showing up until later. The Madness of King Scar is from the Lion King musical on Broadway, and it has some really cool moments as well as an amazing fan animation that honestly looks like it was made by Disney. Unfortunately, it is not on the official list since we already had a Scar song, but it is good enough to earn an honorable mention. And the final honorable mention is the Fairy Godmother's rendition of I Need a Hero from Shrek 2. Didn't include it on the list due to it being a cover, but the whole sequence is just so good that I had to include it as an honorable mention. Truly iconic. Anyways, it's time to reveal the number 1 spot. What song do I think deserves a place above even such legends as Friends on the Other Side and Be Prepared? Well, Lullaby from The Lion King 2. Hear me out! I am aware of the not-so-positive reputation that Disney sequels typically have, and it's very fair. They are not good. I'm specifically talking about the straight-to-DVD ones, by the way. However, The Lion King 2 was actually good, and everyone I've met who actually watched it said at the very least that it was the best of the straight-to-DVD Disney sequels. And while it is my favorite movie of all time, I am fully aware of its flaws. However, this scene is one that I would say is at the same level of quality to other beloved Disney movies. The animation is a little more cheap due to obvious budget cuts, but the art direction and the song more than make up for it. Rarely in Disney villain songs do you hear the unfiltered evil thoughts of the villains. Usually there's some veil of manipulation or praise from others to make a villain's true intentions and true level of evil revealed later. With Zira, however, she's just straight up singing about all of her war and murder fantasies while also planting the seeds to her horrible upbringing of Kovu. Even if the song wasn't good, it would still be higher up on this list just because it's allowed to exist in a Disney movie targeted for kids. But not only is it unapologetically evil as hell, but it's an amazing song too. For one, it plays on the word lullaby, starting as an actual lullaby to get Kovu to sleep, and by the end literally saying that the thought of violent murder is what helps Zira sleep at night. It even has some good comedy in it through Nuka, who by the way is the best character and has a very tragic story arc. It has a really sinister tone while also having an edge of fun to it. Animation wise, it does reference Be Prepared a lot, which I'll show now. Overall, it's just a really phenomenal villain song that I'd highly recommend finding and watching on YouTube, even if you don't want to watch the movie. Amazing stuff, and it makes the rest of the movie soundtrack look even more pathetic. Anyways, that was the video. Feel free to leave your own favorite villain songs in the comments, cause I'm curious. I usually don't do ranking videos, but this was kinda fun to do, so I may make more in the future. Goodbye.